Thank you all for taking the time to join us this evening. Well, first of all, my name is Whitney Kaysen, and I am the director of VetLink for Service to School. And of course, I want to say thank you to my partners for joining us tonight for this transfer information panel. This evening, we have 7 of our partner schools. Each school will have the opportunity to discuss the transferring to their institution. And of course, all participants will be able and given the opportunity to ask questions utilizing the Q&A feature. I will say to those that are listening, each one of these schools is seeking to expand their veteran population on campus. And they understand and fight knowing the value that you bring to the classroom. But not only that, it's not just about getting you to their schools, but they also have supports in place to make sure that you are a successful student once you get there. So part of this panel is for you to be able to ask questions of these admissions officers about the transfer process or about anything that you may be interested about their campus. And maybe you will be introduced to a school that maybe had not been on your radar before today. So the hope is if you are interested in a school that you had not previously thought about, please let myself or your advisor know, and we will happily get you introduced to these schools so that you can have further discussions about the possibility of joining them. So to our participants, now that each of you has sharing ability, I figure we will go alphabetically, and I will start with Bowdoin, then we'll go to Emory, Michigan, Pomona, Villanova, Xavier, and sorry, Patricia, but Yale. So without further ado, Evan, if you would start us off.
Fantastic. Thank you, Whitney. Well, I'm excited to get us started. I will go ahead and share my screen. Excellent. Excellent. Well, nice to have you all here. My name is Evan Schoaf. I'm an admissions officer up here at Bowdoin College in Brunswick, Maine, and really excited to talk to you about Bowdoin today. So we are a liberal arts college of just under 2,000 students up on the coast of Maine. And by a liberal arts college, that means that we want to provide our students with the skills and the techniques that they need to be successful in whatever job or fellowship or further schooling that they may pursue. At Bowdoin, we're constantly thinking about what our country and what the world will look like 10, 20, 50 years from now, and we want our alumni to be able to be successful in that world. So it's at the core of a liberal arts education. But location does matter. We do love Maine, and so we are that dot up in the shaded state up in New England on the coast of Maine. We embrace all 4 seasons. We embrace the coast and the Atlantic Ocean, and we certainly embrace the snow in the winter. Even though we are up in Maine, we are easy to get to. We are located in a bustling college town called Brunswick of about 25,000 residents. We also have an Amtrak train station and bus station right at the foot of campus that can bring you down to Portland, which is Maine's largest city, in a half hour, and to Boston, including the airport, directly in about 2.5 hours. So there's a lot going on in Brunswick, from recreational activities, but also students get deeply involved in service and giving back in the community. We want our students to get to really embrace Maine and see what Maine has to offer them in both recreational and academic settings. So for example, we may have students that are participating in research down at our Coastal Studies Center, just 20 minutes away from our own campus, where students can do research in the marine and terrestrial labs, even in their first couple semesters at Bowdoin, or maybe spend a summer at the center conducting real, genuine research. It could also be as part of a class. No matter what you're studying at Bowdoin, whether it's in the sciences or the social sciences or the humanities, we make sure that you are getting outside the classroom and getting real world hands-on experience. Our most popular majors at Bowdoin are the top 3 are government and legal studies, followed by economics and biology, with computer science fastly rising up into the top 5. No matter what you study at Bowdoin across our 43 majors and minors, you will find a lot of opportunities for collaboration with faculty, small discussion-focused classes, opportunities to conduct research or go on travel. Again, no matter what you study, we want to get you out of the classroom and get real world hands-on experience. And certainly that involves close collaboration with faculty. Our faculty come from all walks of lives themselves and really love getting to know our students closely. This can be in a research setting, but they just want to know who you are. I think that's why Bowdoin has such a great success rate of students coming to Bowdoin, thriving here, persisting here, graduating on time. That certainly includes our transfer and veteran students. And I think a large part of that is because the care that our faculty show to all of our students. For some of the focus of what transfer students might want to know about academics, some important things. One, you may be thinking about your credits and what your class standing may be if you do consider Bowdoin, and we hope you do. Our registrar's office will offer you a preliminary credit assessment with your offer of admission, so you will have a chance to kind of get a sense of what your class standing may be, what credits you may need to be in order to graduate before you decide whether to actually enroll at Bowdoin. And then once you're here, you will have an advisor who will work with you throughout your entire time here. You have access to mostly of the same opportunities that our first year students have for travel and research and summer funding and career prep. And then certainly you will get to dive deep into our small discussion-based classes, a lot of which do include local residents who we allow to audit classes. So it is likely that there will be plenty of students in the classroom who are not, say, the maybe traditional 18 to 22-year-olds who have traditionally been Bowdoin students. Maine is really important to us, and no matter what you study and what you do recreationally, it is likely that you will be out on the water on the Gulf of Maine. This could be out of our Coastal Studies Center outpost or with the Bowdoin Outing Club, which is our largest student organization. We really want our students to come away from Bowdoin feeling like that they have an understanding of the state, what it means to take care of the land that you live on and leave it in good shape for future generations. Being a sustainable steward of the land is an important part of a Bowdoin student and something that I think all of our alumni come away with. We want the social and residential experience for our transfer students and certainly our veteran students to be comfortable. And the name of the game here is flexibility. And I think that's true across all of our policies as it relates to transfer and veteran students. So whether you have a specific family or other obligation, whether you are looking for a specific housing setup, whatever your special situation is, we can work with you. There's always a staff member who will know you by name, who can accommodate your needs and make sure that you are adjusting to this community. I will say for our current veteran population, most of them are living in college-owned apartment-style housing. So your housing is sponsored by the college, but it is much more of kind of an independent apartment experience, and that was what our veterans to date have preferred. Very briefly, what we look for when you apply to Bowdoin: one, academics. We want you to be ready to meet the rigor of our program head on. So we look to see, certainly we will want to consider your high school record, but we understand that you have done many successful things since high school. So any indication of future schooling, community college, online classes, even your joint services transcript, we can consider. Just getting a sense of your ability to come into Bowdoin, to read, to write, to think critically, to give presentations. It's truly those skills that we are looking for. And your heart matters just as much, your character. We're a collaborative community. We want our students to uplift and support one another. And so that element, your character, matters just as much as the academic component. Quickly on admissions and aid, we only offer a fall entry term. Our deadline is March 1, with decisions released no later than May 1. We are need aware for transfer applicants, but we do meet 100% of calculated need with grants and not loans. And for our veterans, we do provide 2 aid award letters to choose from, one that includes any potential GI or other benefits, and one that includes just Bowdoin institutional aid. For all of our current veterans on campus, they have elected to save their benefits and go with the aid award that just considers Bowdoin institutional aid. Additionally, every student will receive a MacBook Pro, iPad Mini, Apple Pencil as part of our digital excellence commitment. This is a long-going focus of Bowdoin to make sure that all students have access to any sort of academic opportunity, and that includes computing power. I'll conclude by saying that I think Bowdoin is a really special place. We have a small but growing veteran community, and I'm really excited to see how it continues to grow and shape Bowdoin for the better. over the coming years. So if you're looking for a close-knit, collaborative liberal arts community that has a focus on getting outside the classroom with real-world experience, I hope you consider Bowdoin. I'm happy to answer more questions at any time. Thank you.
Thank you for that. I think next up is going to be Emory.
All right. Hello, everyone. I was going to say good afternoon, but you might be anywhere in the world. So, hello, my name is Giles Eady. I'm Senior Associate Dean of Undergraduate Admission at Emory University in Atlanta, Georgia. So I'm going to share with you guys real briefly here. All right. So Emory University, we're in the lovely city of Atlanta, Georgia. Make sure this fly up. There we go. Lovely city of Atlanta, Georgia. We're a major Research One institution, but within this major Research One institution, we have a small liberal arts college inside. So similar to Bowdoin Liberal Arts College, so regardless of what you choose to study at Emory, you're going to take courses across all the disciplines that we offer on the campus. At the university, here are the colleges that make up the university. The first three, well, actually first four on this list are for undergraduates, and that'll be the College of Arts and Sciences, where you find most of the majors that we offer at Emory University. Oxford College, one of our undergraduate colleges just for first and second year students. The Goizueta School of Business, where we offer a BBA, and the Woodruff School of Nursing, where we offer a Bachelor of Science in Nursing. The other colleges are grad and professional schools that we do have on our campus, but they also have resources available to you as undergraduates. So there might be research opportunities that you can take advantage of on either one of these colleges, or even for the veterans I've seen on campus, they might find mentors in each one of these colleges. So lots of things for you to do on the university campus. Like I said, we're a major Research One institution, but very much so a small liberal arts college inside. So we're talking only about 5,900 undergraduate students. So average class size is about 25 students per class. So you will know your professors, they will know you. You can't get lost in the shuffle at Emory University. So I'm moving really quickly, so don't take up too much time. But as far as the transfer process, we take what's called a holistic application review, meaning that we're going to look at every single part of the application to make our admission decision. So that includes, of course, your transcripts, but we're going to also look at you, the person. What Service to Schools does a great job for us is that I'm familiar with a lot of things that you guys may have done in the military, but a lot of my colleagues aren't. And so Service to School does a great job of interpreting that. And so what I've seen time and time again with my colleagues, they are amazed by the things that you guys have done and the experiences that you've had. So don't take them for granted. You are amazing, and the things you've done are amazing. And so make sure you let us know those things in the application. That's a part of the holistic review. So we're going to look at every single thing to make our admission decision. So the application, we only do fall admission at Emory as well. So the application deadline is March 15th. So coming up very soon. Your application fee as veterans is waived for you at Emory University, so you don't need to worry about that. Of course, we will need all official transcripts from every college you've attended, also your high school transcript, and then a faculty recommendation. That faculty recommendation can be from a faculty member at the latest college you've attended, or it can be from a supervisor that you've had. And so a lot of my vets might have their supervisor in the military write a recommendation for them, and have actually written some outstanding recommendations for vets, because they have really spent a lot of time with them, and they know their abilities probably more than most. On the financial aid side at Emory University, we meet 100% of demonstrated need, meaning that we're going to look and see your ability to afford Emory. And whatever that is that you need to afford Emory, we give you institutional grants, and those are monies that we give you that you don't pay back. But I think the most attractive thing about financial aid at Emory University is that any student that gets a financial aid package from us will not have student loans. We are loan free at Emory University, so your financial aid package will not include a student loan. So Just as previously mentioned, veterans at Emory University on the undergraduate side have the option of using the GI Bill or institutional aid. And it's a growing trend that a lot of them use the institutional aid and maybe save the GI Bill for a grad and professional school or even pass it on to their dependents. But we want to make Emory affordable for you. So we feel that if we're admitting you, we're admitting everything that goes along with you because we don't want cost to be a prohibitive factor for you engaging in the Emory experience. So I know I was very brief about my talk about Emory University, but if you have any questions about Emory, you can certainly reach back out. There's certainly way more that I didn't mention, but I want to be respectful to my colleagues' time. But I'll be on for the rest of this evening or the rest of the time here to answer any questions you might have about Emory. Thank you.
Giles, thank you so much for that. I think it's always important that we discuss financial aid because sometimes students may not apply if they know that a school potentially could be unattainable to them financially. So thank you for that. I think that will really open up doors and opportunities for students. So I believe we have Phil with Michigan. Phil, there we go.
There, unmuted. Okay, great. Sorry about that, everybody. So I want to do the slideshow, kind of talking about why Michigan. Thanks for having us on. As most of you know, we have a very well represented brand. So most of you know we're a public institution, beautiful Ann Arbor, Michigan, Research One institution, a big public university. And so that's sort of where we come from. We have a very large veteran population. We have about 400 veteran and military students, military connected students. So that's veterans, National Guard Reserve, active duty military. We have about another 650 or so dependents and family members who are military connected as well. So a population military connected, it kind of enlarged around the 1,200 mark. So the University of Michigan is, here's some of the stats that people love throwing around. #1 public research university in the U.S. Good rankings, great public university, national public university in the U.S. From U.S. World and News Reports, #3. And then #7 best for military veterans, again, U.S. News and World Report. We have one of the largest alumni bases in the world. So when you become a Wolverine, it not only starts when you're here on campus, and we're certainly excited to have you become a Michigan Wolverine, but it continues after you graduate with a network of people around the world willing and able to help you with your career goals, to be a mentor to you, to have a community wherever you are. I once quipped, I was driving in Mexico City and there's a Michigan hat right on the side of the road with somebody. And so wherever you go, you can see, the Block M and say go blue. With any of our games, if you're in a city, almost every big city in the world, there's an alumni group watching the game that you can join in on. So it is a lot of fun. Some tuition costs, like my other peers are, here's some of what we charge for in-state tuition. All military connected students qualify for in-state tuition. So you'll be paying that in-state rate. That also matters when we talk about post 9/11 GI Bill, because that will pay all of the tuition costs of attending Michigan. You don't have to use your post 9/11 GI Bill. We ask you actually to look at our very generous financial aid package. We use the FAFSA and CSS profile are required for that. That way we can get really good, accurate on what you need and how we can help. What I like about Michigan is very, very high academics meets Big Ten pride. So if you're looking for a school where everybody wears the gear and everybody says go blue, and we have great research opportunities, top, academic instructors in the world. Almost every day when I listen to NPR, somebody from the University of Michigan is saying something about research. We have well-known degree in veteran status with great career opportunities for you. Again, that alumni base, plus the University of Michigan brand, plus your veteran status means great opportunities, career opportunities after you leave school. We have ways for you to get involved with 1,200 student orgs. If there isn't something, we can create this for you. But 1,200 student orgs for you to join, thriving student orgs on campus to be a part of campus. Top tier athletics, national champs, by the way. We have a great arts and culture scene in the lovely town of Ann Arbor. So top rated as one of the best livable cities in the country consistently. So it's a great place to be and a great place for you to thrive. We have 14 schools and colleges, 280 majors. We have a lot for you here. And so too much to actually go through in just a small setting. But give me a call and we can talk about finding your place in Michigan. There's certainly everything from engineering to LS&A to music theater and your dance. So it's a great place to be. Veteran specific. We have a lot to offer. We are a PAVE school, which means we have mentoring on campus as soon as you step on campus. We are a VetLink school, which means we are linked up to VA healthcare. We are a Vet Success on campus school, means we are linked to VA benefits. We have a representative on campus. We have a top-notch VA hospital right next door to campus. Literally a blue bus runs from campus to the VA hospital, so you can get treatment at the VA hospital if you need it. We offer priority registration for all our vets. As I said before, in-state tuition. We have a thriving Student Veterans of America Club, one of those 1,200 student orgs. We are also one of the national founders of actually SVA. So one of 3 campuses that actually founded SVA National. We are a public school. Again, your VA benefits go further. But there's no residency requirements. And we have great family housing on campus and daycare and care for your family as well. We are becoming very, very much family friendly, both in our activities and what we offer for childcare for help with that. A little bit about, they talked, and I want to make sure I'm good on time, so let me skip ahead a little bit. Kind of questions we get. High school GPA, yes. But the more you've done past high school, the better off we are. We look at your most recent scores to make a determination whether you can succeed at Michigan. And that is one of our big things, is whether you can succeed here and graduate. Again, top tier academic school. But we look at your college, community college, if you've done it. We look at your military, and that affects our decision making because we know you're adult learners. And we look at your life, like what was your life both before the military and afterwards. Sometimes it depends on our schools and colleges. You may have to take the SAT or ACT for some of our courses, for some of our schools and colleges, but a lot of them are either test optional or you don't have to do the SAT. For most of our big ones, if you're a transfer student, we do not need your SAT scores. We will take it right off of your grades off community college. Your previous college, again, it matters. It depends on your school or college, the number of credits you have to take, what classes you have to take to be admitted. And we can talk about that again, kind of on a further one-on-one, and I'll show the QR code at the end. Kind of community college is our standard pathway as a transfer student. And most, probably about 99% of our folks go through a community college route before coming to Michigan. Either deficits in high school, or it's been a long time since they went to college or went to school, and we want to make sure that they're ready for college at this level. So we do recommend community college. And again, it depends on on what school or college and major you want to do. Let me see, I can do that. Military training does matter for us, but not always in a quantifiable way. Again, we can talk about that kind of a one-on-one basis. Do you need letters of recommendation? Yes, we like them. We like them from a professor more than somebody just in the military or commanding officer. But military and commander superiors work. We want to see how they speak to your educational background. And I don't know, how am I looking on time? I want to make sure that I'm good. Okay. Essays are hugely important to us. We want to know about you. So we value you at the University of Michigan. It is a big school, but we do simplify it down with our schools and colleges. So that makes it a smaller place. and your what organizations you join makes it even smaller. And so when we're looking at you for the University of Michigan coming in, we want to know what you bring to campus. So our essays are not the kind of big, kind of academic exercises. They're really about you and telling us about you. We have a holistic application selection. So we look at everything that you put in your app, from your grades to your essays. And it's a good thing to write about yourself and write about your military experience, because that really does matter to us here at the University of Michigan. Okay, so here's the end part. I want you to be on my pitch. I want you to be a Michigan Wolverine. I think it's an easy sell for us. Come to campus, see our beautiful campus, see what we do, look at our website. But I want to talk to you one-on-one about being a Michigan Wolverine. I've helped hundreds of students get to our campus. I'd like you to help you become the leader, one of the leaders and best. So here's the QR code. It should take you to my scheduler. Schedule a time with me and we'll have a half an hour to talk about your pathway. Thanks.
Thank you, Phil. You make it really hard not to go and search Michigan now. So Adam, we're going to take it to the West Coast and we're going to talk to Adam with Pomona.
Alrighty, thank you very much. And alrighty. There we go. Thanks everybody for hanging in there. My name is Adam. I'm the director of admission at Pomona College. I'll start where everyone else started, with a picture of a state. This is Southern California. This is California. We're just outside of Los Angeles in the city of Claremont. The city of Claremont is a lovely little town, about 35,000 large. That's relatively small for an LA suburb. As you know, Los Angeles is the second largest city in the country, and we are not too far from Camp Pendleton, from Miramar, from 29 Palms. For anybody who has familiarity with Southern California, many of our military affiliated and veteran students, they had a California experience and they didn't want to leave. And so we become a really attractive option for them, because the living is good out here. One of the things that I think is really important as you think about location, we're not in the city of LA, we're a little outside of it. So you get a lot of opportunity to, if you're into the outdoors, that's terrific. You can see the mountains behind me. They're actually covered in snow right now because we just got a really big storm. And you have outdoor access. You also have city access. So if you're looking for those internships, things like that, you're going to have access to that. Just a few highlights here. A little bit more information about Pomona, 48 different majors and 4 different academic areas: the natural sciences, the social sciences, the arts and humanities, and interdisciplinary studies. Lots of different ways in which to engage your education, and you're going to do it in small classes with faculty who care, who are there to teach, and also are engaging in research, teaching in those small classes. And one of the things that is so powerful about Pomona is the fact that we're not alone here in Claremont. Pomona is the founding member of the Claremont Colleges. So there's 4 other institutions that you can enroll in and take classes in. And the idea behind the Claremont Colleges is very simple. You attend one school, you can take classes at all 5. You live at one school, but you can participate in clubs and organizations at all 5. So you may have heard of Claremont McKenna College or Pitzer College or Scripps College or Harvey Mudd College. And then together with Pomona, we feel a little bigger than a standalone liberal arts school. So there's about 6,000 total students in Claremont, about 1,700 at Pomona. There's about 17 different places to eat, including many dining halls on campus. Your card, your Pomona ID, gets you into all of those dining halls. The second largest library in the West. There's an immense number of clubs and opportunities, many more than we would be able to field just at Pomona. There's 600 classes taught at Pomona. There's over 2,000 classes taught within the Claremont Colleges. So you get the idea here. The resources matter and the opportunities matter. And that size of the Claremont Colleges is going to help with that. I put a couple of the academic resources here. Some of you are going to come out of community college, as was said earlier, and you're going to have a transition from an academic space to another academic space. And it'll probably be somewhat seamless. You know, you've already been working hard. You're going to come to Pomona, you're going to keep working hard. Some of you may have had a bit of a break between academic experiences, or you might have spent a semester or a year in community college. You didn't get your associates or spend the 2 full years. And so you're going to come into Pomona and you're going to be fine, but you may need that support. You know, regardless of how you enter, we're happy to have you. Many students take advantage of the support resources here that I think are really critical for our transfer students, for our veteran students, and also for our first-year students. There's writing support, there's quantitative skills support. You need a librarian to help you with research. You're going to get a librarian to help you with research. Mentorship, as well as other kinds of extracurricular-oriented research opportunities and mentorship. There's a couple of things I can tell you you're absolutely going to get at Pomona. You're going to get a first-class education, and you're going to get a mentor. And that mentor is really important because they are going to help you navigate spaces you may have never navigated before. You may have not had to figure out how to navigate before. And the military culture, awesome, great. You come into higher ed, very different. And so the opportunity to be able to come into that non-military culture, that civilian culture, and be able to say, hey, I have no idea what this person just said. Can you translate this for me? You're going to be able to do that in a way that helps you grow and develop confidence and contributes to your learning, whether it's a member of the Veteran Student Organization, whether it's a member of the First Generation to College Club. A lot of our vets are actually first-gen students. They might be the first person in their family to go to a 4-year school. That's cool. We have support for that as well. There's lots of ways for you to think about an identity-based mentor or an experience-based mentor and be able to get that support that you need that goes beyond the classroom. And I guarantee you will get that at Pomona. One of the other pieces that I think is really always on the minds of veterans is, what am I going to do with a liberal arts degree? There is constant conversation. I meet with veterans all the time, and they're often curious about how you translate that education in a liberal arts setting to a job, to a career. And you think about that, and all of us here are going to help you do that, not just Pomona. I'm going to highlight a few ways in which we do it, which is with regard to our outcomes. You're going to see the industries that our graduates go into. And I think they're probably the industries that you might be considering. And so if you want to go into consulting or finance or healthcare or research, we're going to help you with that. Right when you leave Pomona, you're probably going to have a job. You're going to go into the workforce. You're going to get a job for a few years. And it's possible you continue on to med school, business school, graduate school, PhD program, but it's probably not likely immediately after Pomona. You're probably going to work for a bit, and then you're going to translate that work experience into some kind of a professional school experience. And that's really common. And the ways in which you think about, I put the class of 2022 here because it's really firm. One of the things that I think you'll see is there's also a lot of overlap. And so you may find that you go into one particular career field, and then that career field translates into a business school experience or into a law school experience, and you're able to use your liberal arts degree to connect those dots. So a history and economics double major from Pomona translates into a consulting gig, which translates into an MBA, which translates into you then going into healthcare management and VC work in San Francisco. That's a really easy path for someone who's done it to figure out. If you're sitting there as a veteran and you're at a community college and you're like, what did you just say, Adam? What I just said is, we're going to be able to launch you into success. And that was the way in which many of our alums and our Pomona students have done that. That's a path that has been created for you, that our veterans have had, those who come before you, that you're going to be able to access to. So thinking about how to make those connections, that's really the core of that liberal arts experience. I'll end here with just a couple of stories on veterans. We've been doing veterans work since I got to Pomona 8 or 9 years ago. We have built an incredibly robust and engaged and strong, loyal network of veterans who've come through Pomona. Whoops. And I want to just highlight a couple of stories here. You see folks who got into medicine, folks who've gone into consulting, folks who've become hydrologists. They're running their own firms as entrepreneurs. They're going to business school. And I'll drop a link of our newest veterans on campus from Pasadena City College and Chaffey Community College here in LA. They're coming from our local community colleges. They're doing great things in those community colleges and translating that academic experience and those career ambitions into a great experience at Pomona and a fantastic life afterward. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Whitney and we'll keep moving.
Thank you, Adam. I'm quite jealous of all of your palm trees that you may have in the background there. I'm over in dreary England, and so I'm living vicariously through your son. Now I'm going to turn it over to Mike Brown over at Villanova.
All right. Can everyone see that? Great. So my name is Mike Brown. I am an Army veteran, and some of you may know about Villanova. Some of you may not. Villanova is a small private Catholic school really focused on personal and professional growth. We have around 7,000 undergrads walking around campus. But really our focus is on outcomes and ways in which we do that. An example is this past year, we took a group of student veterans up to Boston and met with alumni and various businesses and organizations and really immersed ourselves into learning how to be the best version of yourself. This year, we're going down to DC to do something similar as a group of student veterans. And then next year, we are going to Hawaii to do something like that again. So these regional trips are a primary focus of the outcomes that we want to see our student veterans achieve. And representation by and through our alumni are great examples of how we do that. Programs of study here for Villanova, students that are really popular: computer science, info systems, cybersecurity, political science, sociology, criminology, nursing. And we have various pathways to all of them. And one of the things, we talk about outcomes, but what's the data show is that all of our student veterans who have graduated are now in careers of their choice or of their liking. We don't have graduates out lingering around doing things, saying, what can I do next? And that's because our focus is really on having you be a successful student in the classroom, which leads to being a successful member of society, whether it be furthering through higher education or employment. And like Pomona said, most likely upon graduation, you will probably enter the workforce unless you're going right into law school or med school. But for the most part, our student veterans graduate and enter a career. And one thing I want to do a little bit different tonight, which not everyone else is doing, which is okay, is I want to introduce one of my student veterans. Hunter McAllister is a student here at Villanova. He's an Army veteran, and I want to let you talk to him for a minute.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, my name's Hunter McAllister. Currently a sophomore, studying sociology. I got out. I was 8 years Army infantry. I got out in 22. Started in fall of 22, and it's been nothing but good things. I did Warrior Scout Project. If you aren't, am I spotty? Okay. Sorry about that. So anyways, as I did Warrior Scholar Project, which I would recommend all of you look into, along with service to school, that's a great combination. As I did that, I kind of reconfigured what I wanted in a school and what I was looking for in a school. And that was basically 3 tenets. I wanted a good school, whatever that means, right? Academically rigorous. I wanted it to be Catholic, so I wanted to re-engage with that identity piece of me, which I think is an important piece. Whatever that identity piece for you is, I think that's an important thing to engage with. And I wanted a sports team. That was kind of the big one too, where I wanted, it's, as silly as it may sound, but I wanted a time to get together with community. I think that's an important thing too. So those were my whys, and Villanova, amongst other schools that you can kind of imagine, I chose because a big reason is, you know, Mike. I'll hype up Mike, so because he won't do it himself. That Mike was an enlisted service member who then went on to college and is now doing the job to support what he did. He is a part of the community he represents, and I think that is a great thing in much of what he does and his work that he does really is informed by his experience as a generation undergraduate student veteran. Like he said, putting us out in front of people, doing all these things, right? So that's my little Mike Brown pitch, which is easy to do. But I also kind of wanted to maybe, as Mike and I talked about this, maybe break the monotony of the sales pitch piece and really just use this as an opportunity to realize what you need in a school as an undergraduate and whatever it is, right? It's easy to get caught up in names, and there's a reason why they're big names. But that doesn't mean that school's for you, right? Villanova is not for everybody. I get that. Being Catholic, that's a certain piece of it, which I'm more than I can put my email in and feel free to reach out. I can talk more about what that really means on a day-to-day basis. But anyways, yeah, I just as a student veteran, to future student veteran or current student veteran, like 4 years is a lot of time, and you should really enjoy what that is. And you know, you can get a lot of different places from a lot of different places. So, yeah, I'm excited for you all, and I look forward to maybe seeing you one day, or just good luck to you, and thanks for having me.
Like what we were talking about, so it's sort of a breakup in the sales pitch, if you will, with adding a student, which I think talking to me till you're blue in the face, I'm going to tell you all about how awesome Villanova is for a lot of different reasons. But I think having students bring that to the table is a different recipe for success. We have a great group of student veterans on campus. We have a student veteran center on campus where students come, meet, use. The Career Center is there once a month. A VSO is there every semester to help with claims, any VA questions. Alumni are always in there. It's a living, breathing space. It's not just a rectangle with military art on the walls. It's truly a operational center that gets stuff done, if you will. And we truly love that. If you are thinking about transfer, we have a fall transfer deadline of March 15th. We have various pathways, though, outside of that. If fall isn't what you want to do and you're thinking spring or even summer, talk to me, call me. We have a lot of different opportunities and pathways through our College of Professional Studies into our College of Nursing, or whatever that may be. We have a lot of different things to talk about. We are test optional. We do accept JSTs, and some of those other credits will also follow you, which is nice. And if you have any other information, questions, you can always reach out to me. I'll leave my information in the chat room, if you will, with my email, but I think I'm running out of time, so I wanted to give some time to my Catholic brethren over there at Xavier, and thanks for having me. V's up, go Cats.
Thank you, Mike. And Hunter, I cannot echo what you said enough. Not every school is for everybody. You truly need to make sure that you go to the school that you truly feel that is going to support you and be the best one for you, not necessarily the one with the biggest name. So without further ado, we're gonna have Nathan over at Xavier.
Yes, thank you, Whitney, and yeah, thanks so much, Hunter, for providing that current student voice. I think that's really important. So I actually really appreciate you joining as well. Wish you were out here promoting Xavier, as we checked a lot of the boxes you were talking about, but Villanova is a great school as well. So yeah, hello everyone. My name is Nate Ray. I am with Xavier University. I'm a director of recruitment here at Xavier, and I sit in a unique position situated right between our Office of Admission and our Veteran and Military Family Center. So I work specifically with all military affiliated students who are interested in Xavier University, and I also am a veteran, Marine Corps veteran who separated back in 2014. Wasn't sure what I was going to do next. Thought I'd take advantage of my post 9/11 GI Bill, and now it's a great thrill of mine to coach, people going through that situation that I was just in a few years ago. Although it keeps getting further and further behind me in the rearview mirror, but it's a great way to stay connected to that military community that I care a lot about. So, without further ado, I'll bring up my screen here and share a little bit about the institution I'm here representing, Xavier University. Xavier University is a private, nonprofit, four-year institution, and we offer about 90 different majors and minors to choose from. So that traditional liberal arts school that a lot of my colleagues here have mentioned. We are a smaller school with about 5,000 total undergrads on campus, but we do have a strong veteran contingent with about 370 military-affiliated students on campus. So really care about promoting a diverse background and diverse experiences and bringing those experiences to campus to kind of enhance everyone's learning while students with us at Xavier. Similar to Villanova, we are a Jesuit Catholic institution. So a quick way to kind of summarize that is we're very intentional about caring for the whole person, a very holistic approach in everything from the application review, really understanding who you are, all the way through, making those big career decisions, what it is that you want to study. An example that I like to give to kind of hammer that home is, instead of thinking first about the technical aspects of what you're going to need to learn and what you're going to need to be doing in your future career, we like to kind of take a step back and evaluate what it is that you or what the impact is that you want to have on the world around you, and then help you find maybe a career or a vocation that will lend itself to that. So that's just kind of an example of that really intentional, very individualized service that we try to provide at Xavier. The photo you see on the screen here is our beautiful campus located in Cincinnati, Ohio. I love this picture. This is club day, so we have about 170 different student clubs on campus. At the beginning of the semester each year, they come out, set up on our mall there, what we call the Xavier Yard, and everyone can kind of walk through and learn about all the different things they can be involved with while they're students here at Xavier. But this is just a great aerial photo. You see a lot of green space, a very traditional college setting on about 100 acres just north of Cincinnati, Ohio. And when I say just north, I really mean it. We're about 5 minutes from downtown Cincinnati, which while a lot of people would say, oh man, a small Midwestern city, there's a lot going on in Cincinnati, and Cincinnati is a huge part of the Xavier experience. So about 7 Fortune 500 companies are headquartered in Cincinnati. So to put to bed that myth that, again, we're a small, quiet city, companies that you've probably heard of, General Electric, P&G, Kroger, just to name a few. So a lot of great opportunities. And what that means for our students at Xavier is a lot of experiential learning is available in Cincinnati. We also boast 10 major hospital networks in the area. So just a lot to get involved with, regardless of what you're studying or what you're doing. And that is something that is a hallmark of the Xavier experience, is that experiential learning, getting out and actually doing what you're learning in the classroom and being able to bring that back to the classroom, share your experience, and then go back out into the world and just really kind of maximize your experience while you're here with us. So again, this photo is the heart of downtown Cincinnati. About 5 minutes from this scene right here, you'll find our beautiful campus that you saw on the previous slide. So a little bit more about some of the faces of Xavier, kind of who we are, just to give you an idea of what the student body looks like. Again, a smaller campus, about 5,000 total undergraduate students with another about 1,500 grad students on campus. So relatively, small community there. But we represent students from across the country and many from across the world as well. So like I said, we're very intentional about who we bring to campus, crafting that student body to really enhance the experience in terms of the exposure to different thoughts, different ideas, bringing that all together to hopefully provide a really unique college experience, despite being, again, a smaller school kind of in the middle of the country. We are a Catholic school. We've kind of mentioned that in a couple of other of the presentations. But what that essentially means is that is our foundational values. There is no requirement to be Catholic or anything like that. So over 20 different faith traditions are represented on campus. And we, again, have a variety of different thoughts and ideas being shared at Xavier. I like to talk a little bit about best of both worlds when I talk about Xavier. So obviously you saw the best of both worlds in the quiet, green, beautiful campus in the heart of a large city. But I also like to talk about our athletics. So we are a D1 school. We have 19 Division I sports playing year-round at Xavier, with a lot of opportunities to get involved in being a fan and finding that environment. This is Cintas Center, which is actually conveniently located right in the heart of campus. So when it's a game day or there's some excitement going on, you're right in the mix being on campus, and is a really big part of what we have to offer at Xavier. Small school with definitely a big school feel. A little bit about the student veteran population at Xavier. Since 2013, which is when we began officially kind of tracking veteran metrics, we've had about 800 or more than 800 veterans have been awarded degrees at Xavier. We currently have 370 military affiliated students enrolled at Xavier, and we've regularly been recognized as a top institution for veterans, 5 years running as a military-friendly gold top 10 institution in our category. So we're really proud of that stat. And that is a function of our support center on campus, which is our Veteran and Military Family Center. It functions as kind of a one-stop shop for all of your needs. And this is a little unique in kind of the grand scheme of things. Everything that we do at Xavier in terms of the support that we provide for students, from financial aid, academic advising, very specific benefits advising, a career coach, and a position we call a success coach. That all is tailored to the veteran needs and is housed within the Veteran and Military Family Center. So very specific to the veteran population, and really designed to, again, tailor their services to the student veterans. And that goes as well for our mentorship programs. We offer professional mentors, peer mentorship, a lot of different ways to kind of get that mentorship through different programs at Xavier, and all of that is tailored to the veteran population specifically. With that, I just want to say that I would be glad to have a one-on-one conversation with anyone who's interested in anything that I've shared here about Xavier, about specific programs, just navigating their next steps as it's figuring out benefits, anything that goes into your next steps. I'm glad to be a resource for you. So please stay in contact and let me know if there's anything I can do to support you as you figure out what's next for you after service. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Nate. We're so excited that we were able to partner with you. Without further ado, we have Patricia Way over at Yale.
Okay, can you see my slide? Okay, all right, perfect. All right, so welcome everybody. My name is Patricia Way. I'm Director of Admissions for Yale's Eli Whitney Students Program, as well as Director of Veterans Outreach. So thank you, Whitney and Service to School, for inviting me to be part of this session. I am going to try to be as quick as possible. I know we're running out of time. But if you forget everything I say today, that is completely fine. I know we've thrown a ton of information at you, but do know that Yale is affordable. If that's all you remember, I'm okay with that. Like the other schools here, we offer generous need-based financial aid. And oftentimes, students self-select themselves out of applying to schools like Yale because they feel, or they think erroneously, that they cannot afford it. And I can't emphasize enough that Yale and many other institutions are committed to supporting our students financially. So Yale offers generous need-based financial aid. And I won't go into the details of that, but I will leave you with this quote from one of the student veterans who graduated a couple of years ago. Moses Cho said, "Transferring to Yale as a Marine Corps veteran was the best decision I've made. The resources, professors, and student support has made for a life-changing experience. I graduated without taking on any student loans. So don't let the price tag be what stops you from applying, even if you think you are going to use your even if you think you're going to use your GI Bill benefits, apply for need-based financial aid and compare. And we're located in the city of New Haven, which is a small city located roughly halfway between New York City to the south and Boston to the north. It is a small city with only about 130,000 people, but it has a college town feel, and it has a really vibrant cultural life. And pivoting and talking about academics at Yale, Yale is both a world-class research university and a liberal arts college. We put a lot of emphasis on our undergraduate education. We have roughly 6,500 undergraduates, and we only have our student faculty ratio is only 6:1. We offer lots of resources. They're free academic resources of all sorts. And we also offer students lots of research opportunities, international experiences, and our students can also take advantage of some of the resources of our 14 graduate and professional schools. So it is not unusual for our undergraduates to be doing research with medical school professors, for example. Also, our undergraduates can take a constitutional law class with Professor Akhil Amar, who is this noted constitutional law professor at the Yale Law School. So it's nice to have both the emphasis on undergraduate education, but be able to take advantage of some of the graduate and professional school resources. At Yale, students, as a student veteran, as a transfer student, first-year student, you will be surrounded by peers and faculty members who are eager to learn, who are eager to teach. They're highly motivated, and they want to contribute to the Yale community and beyond. And one of the things that's different about Yale compared to the other colleges here tonight is that we don't just have two pathways to our undergraduate education. We actually have three. So we have the first-year program, we have the transfer program. Those are pretty self-explanatory. We also have the Eli Whitney Students Program, which is designed specifically with adult students in mind. No matter which pathway you come through, you have the same academic experience. No matter which pathway you come through, you take the same classes, you have the same academic requirements, you have the same access to majors, you have the same access to research opportunities, international experiences. But the Eli Whitney Students Program is designed specifically for adult students who have different needs than 19 or 20-year-olds. So if you have been, or you will have been, out of high school for at least 5 years by the time of your intended Yale enrollment, then you are eligible to apply to the Eli Whitney Students Program. Our Eli Whitney students, the average age is 30. We have students from their early 20s to students who are much older. And Eli Whitney students live off campus, but they're still very much part of the fabric of the Yale community. It really is a traditional in-person program for non-traditional students. Eli Whitney students can also take classes full or part-time. There's lots of information on our website about the Eli Whitney Students Program and also about the other two pathways, so feel free to do some research into that. And in terms of the student veteran experience, Yale is committed to increasing the number of student veterans on our campus. We currently have roughly about 40 student veterans. I know that's smaller than some of the other colleges here, but it is a small and active community and a tight-knit community. We offer lots of resources. There's the Yale Undergraduate Veterans Society, which is run by student veterans. We have deans who have experience advising veterans and adult students who, like I said earlier, might have different needs than 19 or 20-year-olds. We have a financial aid officer who is assigned specifically to veteran students and adult students. And we have a coordinator of veterans resources who can advise students if you're thinking of using your GI Bill benefits. So there's lots of support that's available to students. And I haven't really given you lots of details about Yale, so there's lots of that information online. Feel free to take a photo of this slide, scan the QR code that will bring you to the Veterans Admissions webpage. There's also a link there to the Veterans Application Checklist. You can email me. I will be happy to chat with you, set up a phone appointment if you have questions about Yale and Yale admissions. So thank you for listening to me ramble on about Yale. And now I will give this back to Whitney.
Thank you, Patricia. If you're nervous about potentially reaching out cold to one of these schools, you can also email myself or one of your advisors, and we are happy to make introductions to any one of these amazing schools. I hope listening to them, you realize that they are completely human and normal and completely, you can have conversations with them and they are happy to have conversations with you. But also, I think it's really important to understand that it's financially attainable. They want you there and they're going to support you once you get there. They're not going to just get you there and leave you cold turkey. They are going to make sure that you are a successful student. And even better, once you graduate, you're going to be successfully moving on to that next stage of your life of potentially your career or to graduate schools and to just a variety of opportunities that you may not have ever been exposed to in the past. But so we don't have any questions at the moment, but I do have one that I get asked so often that I, would be happy for any one of you to be able to answer. What do you consider a transfer student? For many, every school is different. For some, I know you say if you have one college course, you are considered a transfer, where some may have a cap at up to 24. So if anybody, could potentially outline what you would consider a transfer student, I would absolutely greatly appreciate that. And I know some of our applicants would as well.
Sure, I can go real quick.
Okay.
For us, it's if you've taken any college courses outside of high school, even if you did not complete them. So any college courses you take outside of high school, even if you don't complete them, you're in the transfer realm. And then we have some specific pathways that would work for that.
Thank you, Phil. Patricia?
So at Yale, eligible transfer students must have completed a minimum of 2 semesters or three quarters of college level enrollment. But I know it's also sometimes confusing as to whether somebody should apply as a first year, whether they should apply as a transfer, whether they should apply as an Eli Whitney student. The best way to figure that out is to email me. We can set up a phone appointment. We could talk about it because it really oftentimes depends on each student's individual situation.
Yeah, I ask this because every time I talk to students or potential applicants, I have to tell them it's subjective. And that's why I'm always going to introduce you to any one of our partners to make sure that they're pointing you in the absolute direction that you should go. Mike.
Yeah, so we are a very case-by-case basis. Generally speaking, if you've taken 12 or more credits, so if you did a semester of full-time, or if you've cumulatively taken 12 or more, we would advise you to take to be a transfer applicant. But at sometimes that the student took those and maybe very early on before they joined the military, and then they join and they feel like they're a different person. They don't want to take any, so we would advise them to apply as a first year at that point. It really, case by case, but generally speaking, 12 or more credits, we want you to apply as a transfer student. but it is very case by case and individually. We want to talk to you, I guess, at the end of the day, if that makes sense.
Very similar to what Mike just shared. I will say we also look at your military credit as well. So credit that's coming in from a joint service transcript, if that accumulates up to 12 credit hours, that's going to be directly applied to credit at Xavier, we would call that transfer as well.
At Emory, it's going to be somewhat of on a case-by-case basis. We want to kind of see what kind of course you've done post-high school. I always say that if you're applying as a first-year student, your high school record should be pretty stellar. If it's not, I might recommend that you do apply as a transfer so that you can get some more recent outstanding academic experience to go with your profile.
Absolutely. Adam, I know your camera's not working, but would you like to answer?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Well, I would agree with my colleagues here. At Pomona specifically, we're looking for 1 year's worth of transferable credit. Anything less than that would make you a first-year student. The vast majority of our veterans are transfer students, but we have had a couple first-year students, and that's really up to you. If you feel like you want to be a first-year student and you have 1 semester's worth of credit and you think it's better for you to come in as a first year, we could certainly talk about that. But we generally advise that for a full year of academic work that you're doing and successfully is probably better preparation for your success at Pomona anyway.
Thank you, Adam. That actually leads me to another common question I get is, what if a student wants to transfer, but they really would like to, I guess in a way, reset the clock and take, and basically start over as a freshman, because they don't, like many of the situations, very subjective, but maybe they don't want any of those old credits and they would rather take as many classes as they can at your institution. Do they have the ability to reset that clock?
I think this depends on, each institution has a different policy. At Yale, students cannot voluntarily relinquish credit so as to sort of, be eligible to apply as a first-year student. I do actually want to add something to Giles' comment about sort of high school transcripts. I don't want students to feel that they should not apply to us because they had a weak high school record. We all have successful candidates who did very poorly, who might have dropped out of high school for a variety of different reasons. High school just might not be somebody's time for, all sorts of reasons, right? But I think that we do expect students to show strong recent academic performance so that if you had a weaker high school transcript and then you take college classes, maybe local community college classes, et cetera, and do really well, you have a really, you have a good shot at our institution. So don't let weaker high school record or even earlier college record prevent you from applying, but take some courses, college courses, recent college courses, and then apply.
Thank you, Patricia. That's actually something that we talk about constantly. Anytime we talk to students, it is a very common story that we get of, I didn't do so great in high school. And I'm like, great, you're not a high schooler anymore. Let's talk about who you are now and the path that you took to get to who you are at this point.
For us, I mean, like Patricia, like we do. In fact, 2 of our biggest schools and colleges, LS&A, Literature, Science, and Arts, and the School of Engineering, actually promote that. They say that their coursework that they would want you to have erases any high school deficits. So we will. I mean, not that you don't have to turn in your transcripts. I'm not saying that, but it tells us we're more interested in who you are now. And so we want to make sure that, but we also have a responsibility, and most of my colleagues would agree on this. We have a responsibility as really high achieving schools to make sure that you're successful here. So the worst thing, I mean, I have a lot of folks coming and asking, like, can't you just, overlook it and just admit me? I'll prove myself while I'm in. Well, we have a responsibility to make sure that you're going to be successful before we admit you. because the worst thing for you, the absolute worst thing for you would be getting into Michigan and then fail out. And first of all, we don't do that. But if if you did, it would be terrible for you and terrible for us as an institution, but definitely terrible for you. So, we have an obligation, we take that very seriously, of making sure, I compare it to baseball. This is the major leagues, and everybody, in any school in this group is the major leagues of college. And we want to make sure that you need to hit a 95-mile-an-hour fastball when you step up to a plate. And so if that means going to the minor leagues first and then coming to the major leagues, great. But if you can't hit a fastball, it's not doing you or us any good. And we want to make sure that you're ready and academically prepared when you get here.
Thank you for that. And a great analogy, by the way. Phenomenal analogy. Anybody else? Does Nate, sorry, do your students potentially have the option to maybe not yes, obviously they have to submit all of their transcripts and everything else, but potentially take more classes at your institution?
Yeah, we definitely will work with students on a case-by-case basis, depending on the amount of transfer credit they've brought in, and depending on what it is that they're pursuing, if that's applicable credit toward their degree program or not. But if it is satisfying a requirement, it definitely doesn't preclude them from taking additional courses that fit their interest or whatever it is that they're pursuing. So definitely will work with students on a case-by-case basis.
Okay. Anybody else would like to chime in?
I just want to say that, as you're thinking of applying to any of these schools, all of these schools on this panel are amazing places to end up. And at the end of the day, apply to several of them. Most of them, you don't have to pay anything. Most of us have waivers. The worst they're going to tell you is no, try again, or go here, or try there. The best that's going to happen is you're going to get into your dream school. So I would always encourage you to apply. Talk to people at the institution. Ask to talk to current students. 1,000%. If you're not doing that, you're doing a disservice to yourself. Talk to current students, get in touch with faculty members, alumni, whatever case may be. But any of these schools on this panel that you would end up at, you'd find yourself at a great home in a great location with a great degree at the end. That's all I had to say in closing.
No, I think that actually was a phenomenal way to close. Actually, it was the exact way you should close. Apply to many schools, shoot your shot. You never know. We definitely never know what we're looking for each admission cycle that we're going through. And you never know what your experience could speak to one of the admissions officers. You have to try. You just have to try and shoot your shot.
May I add something that Whitney?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But I think as veterans, you guys have a resource, an invaluable resource that you must utilize in service to schools. I think the traditional students who do apply to our places don't have the resources like this that really help you to make yourself the best viable candidate you can for all of our institutions. So you're not just shooting your shot with service to school, but you're shooting a very informed and thoughtful shot. So please take advantage of these resources. I can't say that enough. Please take advantage of the resources.
Thank you for that, Giles. We do everything that we can to make sure that once our applicants do hit submit, which they will be doing here soon, they are putting their absolute best foot forward, utilizing, of course, being our partners, our VetLink addendum, so that we kept saying everything is subjective. Well, that's because that's part of the holistic approach to admissions. They are really trying to take who you are, all the puzzle pieces of who you are, and put them together to see who you are as an individual and what type of student you're going to be on campus. And, just try. Don't self-select yourself out. You can do it. It is financially attainable, and they're going to make sure that you're a successful student once you get there. And of course, as we have all said, if you are interested in one of these schools, please reach out to myself, Whitney at serviceschool.org, or your advisor. If you don't have an advisor with us yet, well, just again, send me an email and we'll get that started for you. And of course, I will get you introduced to any one of our amazing partner schools who you can't go wrong applying to any one of them. And without that, I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and I look forward to working with you all in the future.